Hey everybody, Jim with FAB here today. We're going to do our new rock slider install on our FAB house car 2022 Polaris General XP. Going to show you how to put these on and get your car protected. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a impact, you can use a ratchet too, and a T40 Torx bit. We got 3 Torx screws that we're going to take out, and we're going to drill those holes out larger. That's the first step. So in this step of the process, we're going to remove the 3 T40 Torx screws that are in the factory rocker panels. We're gonna get these out so that we can drill those holes out slightly larger than they are, so that our fastener can go in there. So you're just gonna take all these out. And you're gonna take a 1/4 inch drill and open that hole up slightly. Really just drilling the threads out of that hole is all you're really doing. So it's very simple, doesn't take much to do it. Okay, that's that phase of the install. Now we'll move on to the next step. So in the next part of our installation, we're going to be installing the nut plates that come with your rock slider kit. What you want to do at this point is you want to thread the 5/16 bolt that comes with it into the nut plate and just get it flush with the back. And this is how you're going to get it up inside the frame. And we'll show you how that's done here in just a second. So on this part of the install, we're going to be installing the nut plates that are included with your rock slider kit. I showed you how you want to screw the bolt into the one end there and get it about flush. Now, you're going to take this nut plate and you're going to feed it into this hole right here. Takes a little bit of fiddling to get it in there, but once you get it in there, you're good. Now, for the trickiest part of this whole install is you got to get your nut plate lined up with the hole that you drilled out so that you can get your T40 Torx screw back in to hold the nut plate in place. And like I said, this is truly the only tricky part of this install. A flashlight, sometimes maybe an awl or a little pick will be helpful as well, which I'm going to get my little pick right now. So I got it pretty well lined up, I can see in there. So now I'm going to install that T40 Torx screw in there. So I've got that in there, and now you're going to see that that's going to hold the nut plate in place. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to tighten up the Torx bolt. You want to get this 5/16 bolt centered in the hole and then tighten this up. And again, that's a T40 Torx. I got my bolt centered on this hole, and I'm going to tighten this up now. And there you go. Now, your nut plate has been installed, so now you have threads there to secure your rock sliders to. You're going to repeat the same process for the other 5 locations for the rock slider install. All right, so in this part of the rock slider install, we're going to actually be mounting the sliders to the car. If you got a helper, it's really the easiest way to do it, but I'm going to show you that you can do it by yourself quite easily as well. My floor jack here, got it up close to where they're going to go. I'm going to roll this up and get it close. Get my holes lined up. It's still loose. You don't want to get it up too tight up under the bottom of the car at this point, because you need to be able to move it around a little bit. And if you don't have a floor jack, some blocks of wood, whatever, get it up close. I've got all my hardware laid out already with 5/16 bolts that come with it, 1/2 inch socket. I'm going to start up here at the front, and one at a time, get my bolt started on the sliders. That one went in nice and easy. If you leave it out just a little bit from the factory plastic rocker panel, you can see in there. So I can see down in there right now, so you can see I need to come up a little bit off to the side. Got my bolt started in my nut plate. Two of them, get back here. Get this last one in. And you can see, I just got it started a few threads because now I can still see in here and get a good idea where my hole's at and help me line it up a little bit. But they really do line up very well. So now all three of them are started. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the jack now and bring the rock slider up against the factory plastic rocker panel on the bottom. And I'm going to do that at each hole as I tighten them. And I'm just going to snug them up with my impact because we really want you guys to torque these bolts, not just ugga-dugga them to death. Okay, I'm going to move my jack up here. Got snugged up against the factory plastic rocker panel. Snug that up. I'll move to the rear hole now. Get that one snugged up. There we go. We'll move on to the next step of the install now. So the final step in the installation is going to be torquing the bolts. I'm not going to give a torque spec in the video because we do occasionally change hardware, which will change that spec. What I'll do is whatever the current fastener we're using is, the torque spec for that will be in the comment section below. So I have my torque wrench set already. We're going to torque these down. Got that? You want to repeat that for the other 5 fasteners so they're all torqued properly. One thing I did want to point out on the rock sliders is we've notched them in the front here for the XP flares. These rock sliders work for the standard general as well as the XP. I know most guys with standard generals have put the XP flares on them, so we're offering just this one version right here, and it'll work on all the 4-seat generals.